Welcome back to our channel, where we share updates and lesser-known stories about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and the wider royal family. Today we have a major development to talk about. The story centers on how Prince William reportedly brought an end to what insiders describe as Meghan's $37 million plan to relocate to the United States, while Prince Harry faces the loss of his title. According to a source close to the situation, the most powerful moment did not come from a royal command or a dramatic newspaper headline. Instead, it came from the calm voice of a judge inside a quiet California courtroom. Justice Maya Caldwell looked directly at the woman who once captured the world's attention and delivered a sentence that stunned everyone present. You cannot weaponize motherhood and reject responsibility in the same breath. Those words, spoken on February 18, 2026, did more than end a heated custody dispute. They marked what many insiders describe as the final collapse of the Sussex narrative. For 6 years, the situation had been filled with interviews, public accusations, and emotional statements. But in the end, a mountain of legal documents, nearly 1,000 pages, brought everything to a sudden and dramatic conclusion. How did a secret plan costing millions of dollars, which allegedly involved sending royal children to the deserts of Qatar, become the key evidence that helped remove them from their mother's control? This is the story of a quiet but carefully prepared strategy from the monarchy and the moment when everything finally unraveled. It was supposed to be a calm and decisive day. On February 11th, 2026, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex signed documents in a spotless Brentwood courtroom, hoping to end their very public dispute. The agreement was based on the Windsor, California Custodial Safeguard Act, which outlined a fragile peace between them. Under the arrangement, Archie and Lilibet would each have 2 supervised visits per month. Neither parent would be allowed to travel internationally with the children without written permission from the other. Educational expenses would be divided in a 60-40 split. To many observers, this looked like the final chapter. The world had grown tired of the ongoing drama surrounding the Sussex family. It appeared to be a quiet surrender, a sad but reasonable ending to what had once seemed like a fairy tale romance. But the calm did not last long. Meghan Markle's legal team launched a response that shocked both royal observers and legal experts. They submitted a 72-page legal motion that did not simply request small changes to the agreement. Instead, it demanded that the entire deal be thrown out completely. Meghan's lead attorney, Cher Tilden, stood in front of television cameras and made a bold statement. She claimed the signed agreement was not a parenting arrangement at all. According to her, it was a strategy designed to control and limit Meghan. Her comment sounded like the opening move in a legal war. The motion argued that Prince Harry was no longer acting as a co-parent. Instead, it suggested he had become a representative of the very institution the couple had once chosen to leave behind. The filing also accused the royal household, particularly the legal office associated with Princess Anne, of using unofficial pressure tactics. According to the claim, selective media briefings were deliberately used to weaken Meghan's reputation and legal standing. This marked a dramatic shift in tone. For years, the Sussex story had been framed as a battle between a modern couple and a cold, powerful monarchy. Now that narrative was beginning to fracture from within, the legal filing did not stop at criticizing the institution. It also targeted Prince Harry personally. Meghan's legal team brought forward allegations that had previously circulated only in obscure corners of the internet. And the deeper investigators looked into the financial records, the more troubling the situation appeared. Court filings from the California Superior Court included an 87-page financial analysis of the Sussex business structure. For years, the couple had promoted an image of global philanthropy through their foundation, Archewell Foundation, but the financial documents painted a different picture. Between 2020 and 2025, the couple reportedly spent $2.03 million in personal expenses on shared credit cards. Records showed more than $480,000 spent on luxury clothing brands such as Hermes, Dior, and Ali Saab. Private flights also accounted for large expenses, about $670,000 for travel to locations like Abu Dhabi and Nice. Another $310,000 was reportedly spent on media coaching and image consulting, which insiders described as an effort to rebuild their declining public image. Harry's legal team argued that some of these costs had been routed through foundation sub-accounts. A former accountant from the organization reportedly stated in a deposition that luxury purchases were sometimes labeled afterward as a brand representation or a philanthropic alignment. If true, that meant charitable donations may have helped support a lavish lifestyle. The financial investigation extended even further. A confidential report from the U.S. Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network identified 2 Cayman Islands, accounts linked to a shell company called Echel Clover Limited, registered in the British Virgin Islands. Between August and December 2025, event organizers in Dubai allegedly sent $890,000 to those accounts. Investigators noted that these funds did not appear in public disclosures from the foundation or in Meghan's personal financial statements. Once palace officials learned about these findings, they moved quickly. Because of the 2023 Crown Transparency Statute, the evidence was reportedly forwarded to the UK's Serious Fraud Office. At the same time, regulators from the U.S. Office of Tax-Exempt Organization Review and the U.K. Charity Commission began reviewing the financial records. Early estimates suggested that questionable transactions could total between $2.07 million and $4.04 million. Meghan's representatives rejected the accusations, calling them defamatory and based on outdated corporate structures. They insisted that every dollar spent had been part of building her post-royal career. However, the impact inside the organization was immediate. Staff morale, already weakened by years of turnover, collapsed. Within 24 hours of the financial reports becoming public, 3 senior executives, including the head of brand partnerships, resigned. An anonymous source explained the atmosphere simply. No one wanted to be caught in the middle of an international custody battle involving subpoenas and royalty. Meanwhile, industry insiders in Hollywood suggested that major companies were reconsidering partnerships connected to Meghan's planned 2026 book project, reportedly titled Woman Without a Crown. The problem was not only the money. It was the reputational risk of working with a brand that government agencies were investigating. As accountants continued examining digital records connected to the foundation, they uncovered something even more explosive. A strategy document that investigators later called Project Mirror. On February 16, 2026, inside the Santa Barbara Family Law Courthouse, the courtroom atmosphere changed dramatically when forensic IT experts presented their findings. What had seemed like a painful celebrity divorce suddenly looked like something far more calculated. Project Mirror was a detailed 42-page plan dated January 18, 2026. According to investigators, the document described a strategy to permanently relocate Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet to Qatar. The file had been edited repeatedly for over 5 months using a login connected to Meghan's personal administrative account. The plan outlined a partnership with a Qatari entertainment company supported by a sovereign wealth fund. The business agreement reportedly included podcasts, film projects focused on women's empowerment, and media development initiatives. But the most controversial part involved the children. The document suggested obtaining honorary sponsorship that could allow them to receive dual citizenship. That arrangement might have placed them under a separate legal jurisdiction, potentially making it harder for U.S. or UK authorities to intervene. Investigators also discovered unsigned registration documents for a private international school in the region. When the court heard the details, the room reportedly fell silent. Sitting beside his lawyer, Prince Harry looked visibly shaken. For years, he had defended his wife against accusations that she was manipulative. Now he was looking at documents suggesting a possible plan to move his children somewhere that Western custody laws might not protect his parental rights. Legal experts noted that even planning such a relocation could raise concerns under the Hague Convention on the civil aspects of international child abduction. Meghan's attorney responded quickly. Tilden argued that Project Mirror was only a theoretical concept, an example of how someone facing institutional barriers might consider alternative paths. But investigators said digital evidence told a different story. Flight records showed 3 private jet trips between California and Doha in late 2025. Encrypted communications were also discovered between members of Meghan's marketing team and lawyers based in Qatar. Those technical